I've done drawings before in like our figure drawing sessions and stuff like that. Like I don't have this kind of time. That we're cranking out something in 30 minutes or an hour or two or something like that. And a lot of times, same thing. I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, this is a big failure. This needs to go in the trash. And then sometimes later, maybe even a couple of years later, I look at it and I'm like, it's a pretty nice drawing. I don't know why I felt that way about it at first, but now I don't have that negative feeling about it. I'm looking at it actually in a more detached, objective way, really. And then sometimes also people can influence you because, again, you're sort of like hearing yourself on a recording or looking at your own work. You're focusing upon things that other people aren't. A lot of times the things that you feel are not up to par where you would like it, or that you feel is not right, that other people aren't even getting that out of it at all. So, yeah.
So this portrait here, you talked about painting from a photograph.
Yeah,
he actually painted that from a photograph.
This is from
a photograph.
So
he still does that every now and then, paints a little bit differently.
Now, it's not exactly true to it, and that's one of the problems. I don't really like working from photographs very
But it's
much.
a good one. You've captured something with that.
I wanted to do a psychologically probing portrait. I wanted to try to show this dichotomy in this. You weren't here when I mentioned this earlier. I do prison ministry, and this young man was one of the guys that was at one of the prisons that I go to, or used to go to that one. And he got out, and he would call, text all the time, and everything. And nice kid. He was 24 when he got out. He'd spent 6 years in there, and really great kid. But you can see I wanted to show that dark uncertainty with this. He's trying to, not that there's anything, he's trying to put on a new identity and stability in all of this, which can be good, but I wanted somehow to communicate the outside and inside not matching of what the self-image from the reality, which it really doesn't with any of us. Usually we're a lot worse than we think we are, or we're a lot better than we think we are. So, about half, a lot of people will think that maybe they're better than they really are, or vice versa. But usually we're not dead on accurate with how we are. And so I kind of wanted to, he didn't survive long when he got out of prison. I stopped hearing from him and contacted his family and everything, and he was missing for a while. And then I saw on the internet later that I don't know what happened exactly, but he didn't survive very long.
But to me, it does translate. There's just this sense of almost like he's looking in the mirror or something, like, how do I look like this? Do I look like me? Does this work for me? Like, there's this kind of self-doubt, but a hopeful quality too. I love the painting. And it was very quickly done. Like some of these others you spend maybe a year on with your work schedule, literally a year.
Off and on that one,
yeah. And that one was done very quickly.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and I didn't stick real close. I mean, I did some of it. It certainly used that photograph as a guide, but you've got to realize that a photograph is not true. The colors, the values, none of that are reality. And so, like, you can actually, a painting can be more true to life than a photograph, because the human eye can see the color and a photograph tends to make a lot of the edges either real sharp and hard, or everything fuzzy, or you're just distortion and perspective. A lot of times, I used to think, and people think, well, if it's a photograph or a video, then it's true. But a lot of times, just like magic, a lot of those things are not really depending on your perspective and that sort of thing, things can look so much different than they really are.
But that gave you a little bit more license to kind of do a little
Yeah.
bit what you wanted. You weren't trying to hit that objective standard so hard because the photograph wasn't a great photograph.
Yeah, I just had a little picture there, and I just decided I would,
Here we go.
here we go. Let's see here.
Shazam!
Shazam.
See your picture.